Alright, so in this video what we're going to do is we are going to make a database and we're going to make some tables. So I'm just going to start up with this command createDB, right, which will create a database with the name that we provided after the fact, right? So I'm going to create this database and we're going to call it car dealership. Now we're going to do that because we're actually going to make our database structure reflect that of a car dealership to kind of give you some semblance of like a real project. We don't just want to do like A and B. We want to like actually put some real content in there, some potentially real content in there. So now that I've made this database, I can do PSQL and I can go PSQL car dealership. Right? And then that'll actually put me into that database, right? Pretty cool, right? So there's a couple things I can do right now. I can just hit /H and I can get help, right? So this gives me all of the things that I can do where I'm in here. So these are things where I can create things, delete things, drop a database, drop a table, right? A lot of options. So what we're going to do specifically is we are going to create a table. So what we have here in the documentation is actually just a create table, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to create a table for the models, the makes and models that we actually have here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out with the makes. So I'm going to say create table. I'm going to say makes. The car makes, right? So the syntax says we just throw some parentheses right there. And then what we do is we're going to specify the columns. So each of these will be like our columns. So what we're going to do for our columns is we're going to say, and I got these backward, make and model. We're going to actually go ahead and we're going to have an ID, a model name, and a quantity. Okay, so I'm just going to say ID, and then looking back at this, we just go ahead and put in an int or a varchar 80 or whatever type that we're going to have. So in this case, we're just going to want to put some text in for the name. So I'm just going to take varchar 80, and then we're going to specify the next one, which is going to be, actually, you know what, to make it a little bit cleaner, I'm just going to start ID up first, and that's actually going to be int. Right, and then we're going to say the name, right? Actually, it is make, right? Yeah, make name. Make name, and that's going to be your varchar 80. And then we're going to say quantity, which is going to be an int. Right? So let's see how to close this off. All we're going to do is just put a closing parenthesis, and always remember that when you're in Postgres and you're dropping your commands, make sure you have that semicolon at the end. We're going to hit enter. Right? We just made that table, so I'm going to see /dt. Right? So we can see that we now have a table called makes. So if I hit do, this is kind of a precursor. I could say select all or select asterisk from makes. Right? I don't have anything in there yet, but you can see we have made a table, and I'm the owner of it, and we are in this database, a car dealership, right? So that is essentially how you make a table. So let's go ahead and make a couple other tables, so we have those all outlined out here. So let's get a model, So we're going to do the same thing that we did essentially. So I'm just going to hit up to go back into my history. Alright, so let's do create table models, right? And the models are just going to be, we're going to have an ID, a make name, and a quantity. So the ID is going to be an int, and then model name is going to be bar chart 80. Oh, so I figured out what it is. So sometimes if you don't put in your semicolon, then it'll chain things together. So you have to be careful of that. So really all we want right here, takes a second, and it's kind of tricky when you're working on this, right? Just want to make sure that that is the only command that we're in there. So now if I /dt, then I can see I have two tables named makes and models. So just a little bit of a quick error that you might see whenever you're running this. Make sure that what I did right here is select all from makes, but I did not put the semicolon. So what it did is chained the next command in with that. So that's how you make a database and how you make a couple of tables, and we'll run through some more stuff in the next video.